Everyone, welcome into the Birdland Network where we talk all things Orioles and Major League Baseball. And today I'm back with an interesting video as I want to kind of get into a little bit about the Orioles starting outfield. That's Austin Hays, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander. Those are the three guys that came into the regular season as the Orioles' big three in the outfield. And the reason why I want to discuss them is because even though the Orioles have been fantastic this year, first place, best record in the American League, second best record in baseball, playing really, really well, they've gotten very little production from their starting outfield of Austin Hays, Cedric Mullins, and Anthony Santander. And we're going to break that down a little bit and talk about what we think the future of that outfield is. But before we do that, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Just hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way, every time we go live, because we do live streams, we do play-by-play games and stuff like that, or do a video, you won't miss it. Also, please, if you could, give us a thumbs up on this video. It definitely helps the video and the channel. But let's get right into it. So I want to talk about, again, the Orioles outfield and their production and lack thereof this year, and kind of the trend that I see, and I'm sure others see, of these players over the last year or so, and where I think they're going to fit into the plans for the Orioles moving forward. So let's get into it. We'll kind of take them one at a time, and then I'll do my overall analysis of them from there. So we'll start from the left field, center field, right. So we'll start with Austin Hays. And of course, Austin Hays last year, 2023, was an All-Star. Caveat to that, he was an All-Star because some guys didn't play, didn't go, were injured, and then he made the team. And rightfully so, don't get me wrong. His first half last year for Austin Hays in 2023 was really, really good. But for what it's worth, his 2024 season for Austin Hays has just been nothing short of abysmal. He's got 5 hits and 45 at-bats, and all 5 hits are singles. He has no extra base hits to date. He has 5 singles, no doubles, no triples, no home runs. He's got 2 RBIs. He scored 4 runs. He's batting .111 with an on-base percentage of .200 and an OPS of .311. Austin Hays is really having a bad year. Now, he's been with the Orioles a very long time. He was drafted in the 3rd round in the 2016 draft by the Orioles. He's been with us ever since. And he's had some good seasons with the Orioles. Don't get me wrong. His 2021 season was probably his best. 22 home runs, 71 RBIs. He batted .256. That was probably his best season with the Orioles, .769 OPS that year. But his numbers have increasingly gone down over those years. And it's kind of worrisome to me as to where we stand with Austin Hays moving forward. You look at his spray chart from last year. Lots of balls to the left. Obviously, he's a right-handed hitter, so he's going to hit a lot of balls there. I think just like any other hitter, especially for him, when he hits the ball up the middle or tries to go the other way with it a little bit, that's when he's really on his game. But, he had a lot of his hits, I think he got early. And we know he got him early because his second half was really bad last year. So when you look at that spray chart for 2023, most of his hits are to the left side. There's a few to the middle, and there's a few to the right, but he's a majority pull hitter. And it's been a major struggle for him in 2024. And when you look at his percentile rankings, which I'll pull up here for you guys, I won't get into them one by one, but if you just look at them, all of his batting, his overall value, other than fielding, are all under average. And same for all of his batting. His batting, look at his percentile rankings on all of the batting, just going down the list. They are all pretty much either average or below average in the major leagues. And this is your starting left fielder now. The one saving grace that you can see for Austin Hays is his fielding. His arm value is fantastic. He's got a really strong arm, and he's usually pretty accurate with his arm as well. And he gets to a lot of balls. So I think his saving grace, and to be honest with you, probably for all three of these guys right now, is their defense. Is his defense. Real good ball player in left field, really plays it well. But his numbers offensively for Austin Hays are not good. And what does that mean for him long term? I don't know. But when you look at the contract for Austin Hays that he has with the Orioles right now, he has this year in 2024, he's making $6.3 million for a guy that has become, first off, he's on the injured list right now. And then when he comes back, he's going to be a platoon player with Colton Cowser, who's been doing pretty well this year, having a good rookie season. So he's going to platoon with Colton Cowser at best, and which means he's not going to play against righties and he's going to play against lefties. That's not to his advantage. So I don't know how much of an effect or how much of an opportunity Austin Hayes is going to have to get back on track. Now, after the 2024 season, he's got one more year, 2025 with the Orioles. He becomes a free agent after the 2026 season. My opinion is Austin Hayes will not be an Oriole after the 2025 season. And if he continues down this path offensively, he may not even be an Oriole for much longer. And he may not even be an Oriole in 2025. I think they'll give him the benefit of the doubt for 2024, but I don't know where he'll stand in 2025 if he doesn't find a way to get back on track. He's making a lot of money at $6.3 million, and that's only going to continue to go up, especially next year in his last year of arbitration before free agency. Never goes down. So we'll see what happens with Austin Hayes. Hopefully he'll get it on track. He's a real good guy. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a good guy, good ball player, good person, good teammate. But I think his future with the Orioles his days are numbered unless he really turns it around and turns it around quick. Up, we're going to talk about our center fielder, Cedric Mullins. Now, Mullins, again, is one of those guys that he's been with the Orioles since day one. They drafted him in the 13th round in the 2015 Major League Draft. Cedric has been with the Orioles ever since. He's had his ups and downs early in his career. He came up early, struggled. The Orioles sent him back down as far as Double-A to get right, and he did. He did get right, thank goodness. And since then, he's been a mainstay in center field for the Orioles. He's had his share of injuries as well over the years. Obviously, his best year was 2021 when he was a 30-30 guy, the only Oriole ever in the history of the team to be a 30-30 guy. But since that year, his numbers have decreased. If you look at his 2022 year, 16 home runs, 64 RBIs, 34 steals. He batted .258 with a 721 OPS. His 2023 season, the year the Orioles won 100 games, 15 home runs, 74 RBIs, 19 steals. So his steals went down, .233 batting average, again with a 721 OPS. And so far in 2024, as you can see on the numbers, excuse me, it's not been a good start at all for Cedric Mullins. He's got 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. He's got 3 doubles, no triples. He's batting .192 with 6 stolen bases and a .611 OPS. Cedric Mullins is struggling with the Orioles this year. Now, defensively, again, off the charts good. He's made some great plays already this year that have just been phenomenal. And again, just like I said with Austin Hayes, to me, for Cedric Mullins, it's been his saving grace. I really think it has. And as you look at his MLB 2024 percentile rankings, his run value, his batting run value is poor. It's below average. His base running value is a little above average because, again, he can run. His fielding run value is well above average. That's his saving grace. But look at his hitting. Look at his hitting percentiles. They are extremely, extremely low in almost every category. His exit velocity is not too bad, and his whiff rate is okay, but everything else is just really down for Cedric Mullins this year. And again, his range in the outfield is phenomenal at an 88 percentile. His arm value is 62. Obviously, he doesn't have a strong arm. That's why that's below average. And his sprint speed is above average as well. But his overall hitting has just really been down, and he looks lost at the plate. He looks overmatched. If you look at his spray chart this year as well for Cedric Mullins, everything is to the right side. He is pulling everything. He's pulling absolutely everything. And I guess part of it is because he's pressing. He's got 3 balls all year to the left side of the field. Everything else is to the right. Pretty much to the right. And I think that's something that he's going to have to take a step back and try to regroup. He's been given a couple days off against righties, which never happens. He's always in the lineup against righties. But he hasn't been the last few righties that the Orioles have faced. He's been out of the lineup. So, there's going to be some soul searching there for the Orioles and Cedric Mullins when it comes to him. Because that's the other thing, too. We talked about contracts with Austin Hayes. Cedric Mullins, one more year after this year. 2025 is his last year with the Orioles. He becomes a free agent after the 2026 season. In 2024, he's making pretty much the same as Austin Hayes, $6.325 million for a center fielder who's great defensively, but he's batting 195, and he's not getting on base, and he's not stealing bases. And he's not driving in runs. I mean, they're hitting him as low as ninth in the order now. So hopefully Cedric will turn this around and get going again. And, again, the Orioles have options in the outfield to the point that when he becomes a free agent after the 2025 season, do the Orioles re-sign Cedric Mullins? I don't know. We'll find out. But my opinion is Cedric Mullins is going to follow suit with Austin Hayes, and after the 2025 season, I think Cedric Mullins will no longer be an Oriole. I don't think they re-sign him. But so there you go with Cedric Mullins. Again, real good guy. Real good teammate. I like him. But if his production doesn't come up, I don't see where the Orioles have any choice but to move on from him because, again, they do have options in this outfield. Not least, let's talk about our right fielder, our switch hitter, Anthony Santander. Now, of course, Santander was not drafted by the Orioles, but he was picked up as a Rule 5 draft pick for the Orioles, and he's been with us ever since. Again, another really long tenured guy, just like Hayes, just like Mullins. He's been with us since 2017, and he's been a real good producer for the Orioles over the years. He has. In 2022, he had 33 home runs, 89 RBIs. He batted .240. I really don't like the averages on some of these guys with .318 on-base percentage and a .773 OPS. In 2023, last year, he led the team in home runs with 28. He had 95 RBIs. He batted a little bit higher at .257 with a .325 on-base percentage and a .797 OPS. But this year, he's been kind of inconsistent, up and down, struggling from time to time. Over what looks to be 142 at-bats, he's got 31 hits, 10 doubles, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's walked 12 times. He's hitting .218 with a .300 on-base percentage and a .751 OPS. And he is struggling. He really is struggling a lot when you look at Anthony Santander. His numbers just aren't that good. We'll look at his spray chart first real fast. He's a switch hitter, so you're going to see balls all over the field, which is good. But I think a lot of them are pull. When he's batting from the right side, he's pulling it. When he's batting from the left side, he's pulling it. But he does have some balls up the middle, which I like to see. But he is really, at times, looks lost at the plate. He swings at everything, and he doesn't take a lot of walks. And when we look at his percentiles, again, it's one of those things where could he be better? He could be a lot better, but he has some value for what it's worth. His batting run value is pretty high at 77%, but his base running and fielding value actually are below average, and I'm really surprised on the fielding value. But look at his hitting. Most of his percentiles in hitting are below. Luckily, his whiff rate is not that bad, so when he does swing, he at least either fouls it off or makes some sort of contact. But even then, he's still striking out a lot. He's not walking a lot. His percentiles are pretty low. They're not as bad as the other two guys, thank goodness, but his production is down. His fielding has been really good. He, again, the third guy, I think his fielding has been his saving grace. I really do, because I think Anthony Santander has played above average in right field this year for the O's. He's been really good out there. But overall, as a hitter this year, he's down, and he's down considerably. And it's a shame for him because we talk about contract statuses. We talked about how Austin Hayes and Cedric Mullins have another year with the Orioles. Anthony Santander does not. He's a free agent at the end of this year. Now, over the last 3 years, we'll talk about the money he's made in his contracts. Now, in 2022, he made $3.15 million. In 2023, he made $7.4 million. And in 2024, this year, he's making $11.7 million. And this is a guy that's batting .217 for the Orioles right now and not getting on base. What are the Orioles going to do? He is a switch hitter. He's been one of our most productive, if not our most productive hitter over the last few seasons. He's a really good guy. I really like Anthony Santander. Great teammate, great guy, good personality, always positive, always smiling, a lot of fun. But again, at the end of this season, if not beforehand, the Orioles are going to have to make that decision of, are we re-signing Anthony Santander? Because he's already making $11.7 million. Are the Orioles going to sign him for that or more over 3 to 4 years? I don't know. Again, they've got options in the outfield that they that they can plug in. You've got Heston Kjerstad ready to go every day. You've got Colton Cowser ready to go every day. You've got Enrique Bradfield in Double-A right now, who's going to be making his way to the major leagues. Who's an even better defender than Cedric Mullins, if you can believe that. They've got Connor Norby starting to play some outfield from time to time. They've got Ryan O'Hearn still on the team. They've got options for outfield. And the Orioles, I think, are going to take those options. Because just like Austin Hayes and just like Cedric Mullins, I don't think the Orioles re-sign Anthony Santander at the end of the season. I know it's shocking, and you guys are going to say, no way, they're going to let all three of them go. And they might not, but that's just my opinion. When I look at it and I look at their value, there's a lot of value in defense, don't get me wrong, and all these guys bring that. But their defense isn't going to stay at that level as they get older. Offensively, you can stay a pretty good hitter for a long time. Some of these guys can play for a long time and still be productive hitters. But if your hitting's not there, and then your defense and your range starts to decrease as time goes on, where's your value? And I think the Orioles are going to look at that. I really do. I don't think any of these guys deserve big contracts. And I hate to say it that way, but I just don't think they've put up monstrous numbers to get $10 to $12 million a year. Because, it's certainly not going to get 20 to 25 a year. But I just don't think they've put up that kind of value. But I get it. There's more to baseball than just hitting. But baseball is about hitting. And I just don't see them re-signing these guys. So to me, by 2026, the Orioles are going to have an entirely new outfield. I think, unfortunately, for Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and Anthony Santander, their days are numbered with the Orioles. It's sad because I really hope that this year the Orioles can go and win it all, and these guys can go out on good notes. But we'll have to see. Time will tell. But that's it, guys. There you go. That's my video for today. Kind of a pessimistic view on some things, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed and looked at. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think the Orioles will re-sign them all? None? Maybe one or two? Let me know who you think will be staying with the Orioles long term. Again, if you're new, please consider subscribing. Just hit that bell notification and subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Come back for more videos. And please give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps. But there you go, folks. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Keep rooting for the O's. And take care of yourselves and each other. Bye now.